Hello, it's been a while. I've been on holiday, and after that, I got COVID again. So I'm home in COVID isolation for a few days. It's the Omicron variant, so it's pretty mild. I'm just I'm a bit sore in my throat. That's it. Um, so that's pretty good. But I got an idea for a new video, and this is it. Why are LMGs and MMGs so bad in bolt action? And I've been doing math, which is pretty hardcore for me. So I wanted to try and illustrate why many beginners, many rookies in bolt action maybe make the mistake of taking LMGs for their troops, and why it's a bad idea. Why it is basically that these guys, my Bren team here, are so much worse than the pintle-mounted Bren gun on this Bren carrier. That was basically the idea that I had. And it all comes down to a question of points efficiency. So let's take the LMG for an infantry unit, which is where I see many people do something wrong. An LMG for an infantry unit, if it's a regular unit, you're using 2 men, that's 10 points each. That's 20 points. And then 20 points for the LMG. So that's 40 points basically you're using for the shots that the LMG gives you. 40 points, and what you're gaining for those 40 points is you're gaining range, 36 inches, and you're gaining +2 shots, because remember, those regular men, they were riflemen before, so they are losing their ability to fire their rifles while they're firing their LMG. And the LMG only has 4 shots, and 2 of those could have been rifle shots. So you're gaining only 2 shots, and you're paying 40 points for it. You're spending 40 points for those 2 shots. That's insane. That is especially insane because those could have been 2 extra guys, 2 extra bodies in your unit, which would have cost the same, but have been much more difficult to kill. Because each regular rifleman costs 10 points, right? So definitely not worth it. And it works out even worse when you're calculating how many points per shot that you're paying, right? Per extra shot you're gaining for a regular unit, you're paying 20 points per extra shot. If it's an inexperienced unit, you're paying 14 points per extra shot. 17 points per extra shot. And if it's a veteran unit, it becomes a little bit cheaper, but it's still 23 points per extra shot. So it's way off points for values, the LMG. It becomes a little bit better if you're looking at Germans. Then it's around 13.3 points per shot for a regular German LMG, 15.3 for a veteran, and 11.3 for a inexperienced German LMG. So a little bit better, but still not very good when you consider the points for value of the next bits that I'm going to go through. Because then we might look at the MMG teams, a team that very few people pick. Lots of people still make the mistake of the LMG, but very few people make the mistake of the MMG. Which is weird, because if you're looking at points per shot, the MMG teams are actually cheaper. So you need 3 men in an MMG team. Let's just do the math for a regular MMG team, right? That's 3 men. Each one of them is worth 10 points, which is how Warlord Games has designed this. And then a regular MMG team costs 50 points, which means that the MMG costs 30 points. So sorry, not 30, 20 points, right? The same as an LMG, by the way. Making it 50 points. So 3 men, 1 MMG, 50 points. That works out at 10 points per shot that you're gaining. Because those 3 men were not having rifles, right? If you subtract those 3 men's rifles as well, then it's, sorry, let me just calculate. No, it's actually 10 points per shot. It's 10 points per shot. I did the math right the first time. Brain is not working. If you're going down to inexperienced MMG teams, it becomes even cheaper. 7 points per shot. If you move it up to veteran MMG teams, 13 points per shot, which is perfectly at the what it costs to buy an extra dude, right? So the LMGs are overcosted in the extreme, and that's even compared to something that most people would not put in a list. Why will most people not put MMGs in their lists? Well, that is because of the immobility of an MMG team, right? It cannot move and fire, which an LMG can do. But basically, if you're looking at the cost of each shot, then the MMG team is much, much better. And this is where the math breaks down completely. Because if you go over and look at what it costs to put LMGs and MMGs on vehicles and what you gain for that, then the math makes no sense anymore. Because if you're looking at a pintle-mounted MMG on a vehicle, a truck, then what you're gaining is you're gaining mobility, you're gaining the range, which you also do for the others, right? And you're gaining that you can only get killed on a 6+, and then it's 50-50 if you get killed, again, because of vehicles and how the damage works for vehicles, right? So you become, mathematically at least, way less killable. And you're gaining all the shots, because normally you don't need a person to actually operate that MMG. You don't need to buy the extra manpower to operate. It's not calculated in. So what you're gaining is, for 15 points, is you're gaining 5 shots. That works out at 3 points per shot. Whereas an LMG was 20 points per shot. And an MMG is 10 points per shot on infantry. So there is no reason at all to buy MMGs or LMGs for your infantry. Put them on your vehicles. It is way better points for value. 3 points per shot. It's even better if you're German. Then it works out at approximately 2.25 per shot. So really, really cheap. But you can even do it better if you can mount LMGs. LMGs you get for 10 points. So that works out at 2.5 points per shot on that LMG. 2.5. That's the cheapest you can buy a shot, a single shot. That is it. So points for value, and why you should never buy LMGs or MMGs for your infantry. They're overcosted by like times 4. So yeah, cheers.